Okay, welcome to episode 5 of Sphere of Marketing. We've named this thing.
Yep.
I don't know if I like the name.
It was narrowed down to what? Sphere of marketing and sphere of influence?
Something.
Or there was
Something.
two? Yeah.
Either way, by the end of it, I am not super satisfied with the name, so this name might change, everybody.
Then we'll cut
Just
this
so
part
you all
out
know.
and redo this conversation.
Absolutely
for
not.
episode 6.
Absolutely not. No. So today we're talking a bit about AI, what it looks like in marketing, what it looks like in business. You want to get us started?
Sure. Yeah. What AI is obviously everywhere and it's a major topic, and I want to say it's only growing. Is it only growing?
It is growing.
It's showing up everywhere. We've had this conversation before a little bit about how it's like at this point it's just exponentially improving, showing up everywhere. There's every software program you use has AI features being built in.
Yeah.
Which I'm not even sure those are all what I would consider AI, but maybe that's a topic we can talk about too.
Yeah.
But
And that's one of the interesting things. So some of it isn't. It's just machine learning, right? Which we've had for ages and ages and ages. That's what the algorithms for YouTube and Facebook and Google, it's a machine learning algorithm. Those have been out there forever, right? But this AI bubble of like technology, everyone wants to be running an AI company. Everybody wants to have AI features. Well, that's now just being adopted. So as soon as someone said AI, now it's like everything is AI. If you have a little bit of machine learning in there, oh, that's our AI. Mm-hmm. Oh, we serve you guys ads with AI. Well, it's machine learning more than anything. There might actually be some AI in there, but drawing the line between what is actually an AI and what's not is like basically impossible now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And let's talk about how we can use it in marketing, how we do use it, how we should use it.
Yeah.
How we're going to use it.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to use it. I mean, the obvious one, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Or Gemini. We use Gemini quite a bit too.
Mm-hmm.
The trick with all of those is they've kind of all stabilized at the same level.
Okay.
GPT, Gemini, you even look at like some of these other ones that like Copilot, some of the ones that people don't use as much. There's some of these chat bots or whatever that are specific to an industry. All of them have kind of leveled out to be a very similar product. Like I'm not sure that you could distinguish 9 times out of 10 one large language model AI from another one. Hey, write me a blog article. They're all going to format similarly. They're all trained on similar data. All the information kind of comes out in a similar way. The formatting is a little bit different from one to the next. But yeah, being able to write content really quickly with these platforms, super helpful. Mm-hmm. Specifically, I like ChatGPT. In the last 2 months, I've found it very, very good. Prior to that, I was using Gemini for probably 8 months. I thought it was better, but it kind of flip-flops back and forth, which one I think I'd like to use.
Okay. As they get like updates or what?
Yeah, they get updates. Well, and it's like, sometimes it's what I'm writing too.
Yeah.
I find for writing things that need to be highly specific and refined, GPT is a little bit better at remembering what I said previously. When it comes to doing longer like blog articles and stuff like that, Gemini is better at being consistent throughout one response. Hey, from the top to the bottom, we're referencing the same things. We're talking about the same things. We're not pulling random sources or contradicting ourselves. I feel like Gemini's a little bit better at that piece.
Okay.
But
yeah,
it kind of depends. I feel that if I need to refine and have like a conversation with the AI, ChatGPT seems better than Gemini.
Okay. Now you're saying when I write, and then as in when you're writing, and then in the context of ChatGPT and Google Gemini producing all this stuff, at what level are you writing? What level? What's the best way to? Because I know how I use it too, copywriting and stuff. Is there best practices for getting something out of it? And then the amount of editing that we should be doing before this is good enough?
Well, we have our practice. So everyone is approaching this from different angles. There's people in all the camps. There's the never use GPTs, never use large language models because it removes the creative process and it's not good for long-term sustainability, humanity. I maybe actually agree with that to some degree. It's not wise from a business perspective to just avoid the tool, though.
Mm-hmm.
So our perspective has been use the tool, edit the content, bring in your own flavor to it, make sure with a lot of proofreading, because sometimes you can get some yarn spun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exactly always truthful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the way that we've operated it is use it, edit it. Nothing should be straight GPT, and we want to make edits to things as we get them in from the AI. Now, does that mean you have to do it that way? No, not necessarily. Some people make the argument that if you refine a search and go through the process of saying, hey, you wrote this blog and it needs to be more like this or more like that, and as you refine that blog with more prompts and getting down to the nitty gritty of it, you are actually kind of doing a joint effort with the AI where you're guiding it down the steps of creating better content. Whether or not that's how much of that is you, how much of that is the AI, that's a great question. I think at some point that line will be drawn for a lot of people, but for me, it's if I'm coming in and I'm providing the ideas and the guidance, it's ultimately my product, but I still like to edit it and put in my touch.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
That's about the same. I'll use it. I'll prompt it and I'll get it written out. And then on Gemini, I don't know if ChatGPT does this or not. I don't even remember. It'll give you like 3 proofs of the same thing.
Yeah.
Often. And then I'll just skim through the 3. And then a lot of the time, depending on what the length is that you're trying to put together, then I'll kind of grab pieces of each and put them together. I mean, sometimes at that point, I'm wondering if I had just written this myself from scratch, maybe it would take the same amount of time. I don't know, but maybe it wouldn't be as good. Like there is something to be said for having all the proper structure in there, like coming from the machine and then working from there. Because I'm not exactly like we've done copywriting, we've done social media writing, but we're not like exactly high-end professional writers. We've never written any books yet.
Watch me write a book on ChatGPT. Yeah. Well, and that's, I think that's how people are using it, right? They're coming in and they're saying, okay, how can I get the ideas? How can I get the format right? How can I get all these pieces? There's a cool tool, Grammarly, that is really good for catching like spelling mistakes and stuff, which is the bane of my existence. I am a bad speller. It's really good at catching those things, but it also is now an AI as well. So you can get it to rewrite or give you options for the way that you write things. What I've found is people who use these tools, they all sound the same. There's like a remarkable level of like consistency, which to some degree is actually helpful within business to have people sounding the same, communicating the same way. But from a personal side, I think it takes away a little bit of the character of knowing people and the way people operate. Yeah.
The frustration I have is I will use ChatGPT to write something out, maybe a bunch of social media posts or a short blog, and I'll read it and I can't think or find anything that I want to change. And then I'm like questioning well, what's going on here? Is this actually perfect? Maybe I have no imagination at that point. So that's kind of annoying.
Yes. Well, and the issue is the grammar is going to be right.
Yeah.
The content is going to be what you asked it for. And so then all of a sudden you do have to have a creativity piece to it.
Yeah.
If you aren't adding anything additional on top of the GPT, in case of a blog, you're not adding anything to SEO. You're not adding anything to the market in terms of what is Google indexing and saying, this is helpful for people to actually understand. They should read this because there's additional information in here. If you're just taking a GPT, Google has the same information. It's pulling from someone else's blog anyway.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you really need to be adding stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point about the SEO thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Add or at least link to other things and say, hey, this is the important information. If someone has like definitively staked out, this is how this works, or this is what the market looks like in this section, you don't need to rewrite the book. But if you reference properly and you curate, and like, you can do that piece where it's more useful or accessible information.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think GPTs are often making it more concise. It's often making it longer.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed that.
Yeah, I think Gemini is not quite as long. Some of the other interesting AI stuff that's coming up now is the video content creation that's coming onto the scene. There's a lot of softwares that are doing it. Most of them terrible, and some of them are kind of okay. Have you seen any of
video content? What do you mean, like creating actual video?
Yeah.
Or like editing video, or both?
Well, creating.
Either?
Well, they do both, but on the creating side, have you not seen any of the videos that have come?
I think you've showed something, like it was like people walking through a city, and it was like it was all fake, right? Like it was all AI generated, and it looked very real.
Yeah, the Sora stuff is cool coming out of OpenAI, but a lot of these like web apps and stuff, I would say that the videos at this point are pretty terrible, but like consistently terrible. Like they're all kind of the same level of bad. But what I think the AIs are getting good at is the editing. So we've started to do this a little bit where we clip out our content and put it into Reels.
Mm-hmm.
Software to do that is super handy.
Yeah.
AI software.
Yeah, for sure. And that again, we need to edit it, and because it doesn't always get it 100% right, especially when it's trying to caption out Solosphere. Uses that, it changed that to many different things.
It just doesn't know.
Like soulless, like lack of a soul, which is
I don't have a soul.
It's not the message we're trying to portray.
Solosphere, yeah. Well, and maybe just so everyone knows, our name Solosphere, it kind of has a bit of a history. We started out as the original parent company of this whole thing was Sunrise Group, which was your dad's company.
Yeah.
And when we took over, we wanted to rebrand, make it ours, and kind of set it aside a little bit because we do some other things too. And so we were like, okay, well, the sun, sunrise, what is another, like, how can we bring that into the naming? We didn't have like hey, we want to do Kristen McKalen marketing. That wasn't our plan.
Yeah. Our only idea to start with was we didn't want to have like MC something, CNM, whatever.
Yeah.
Right. That was our only thing. Not doing that.
Yeah. So then we took the sun thing, looked at how it was the word sun in a bunch of languages, figured out solus from, I think it's Latin. And then sphere is the shape of the sun, believe it or not.
Yeah.
And so Solosphere marketing. So that's kind of where that comes from.
Yep.
A little bit of story there. But yeah, I mean, the AI, it's not going to get it. It doesn't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you have edited reels or shorts out of long form content, how long does it take you per reel on average?
Per reel? Oh, like a minute and a half clip out of a longer thing?
Yeah.
To edit it out? That's a good question. Let me think. Probably the first one in a set will be a lot longer than the last one. I'll tell you that much.
For sure.
But maybe 20 minutes, maybe longer.
How long did it take with our new AI software?
Yeah, you did 19 of them at, I believe it said 7 minutes.
And I was doing other things during those 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's going to be longer for us to go through and proofread it, which is also a bit tedious because, there's no spelling mistakes. The only thing I'm looking for is when we say solosphere, or if we put in a name, like a proper noun in there, that it gets wrong.
Yeah.
Or cut off a word because I say like well and then I trail off and then it doesn't cut there. So it's like you're going through 19 clips and it's like maybe 4 of them I actually have to edit something on. So it's pretty good.
Yeah. And like that's where we want to start using AI, is like taking something that takes 20 minutes per video and bringing that down to 3 is the goal. And then being able to post that out and schedule it. And that's where we want to kind of find some efficiencies and help other people find some of those efficiencies too, right?
Yeah.
As people come in, we want to be able to say, hey, let's do this. Let's make you some content. Let's get it out quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think AI is helping speed things up. It's more of a tool, I think, than it is really changing everything in terms of marketing.
Yeah. 2 years ago, people would ask, what do you think of all this AI stuff? Because it was pretty new then. And then I would say, as half a joke, I was like, well, eventually it's going to take all our jobs. But in the meantime, I think we should use it as best we can because it's out there and it's a tool. You don't want to fall behind.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think it's going to take as many jobs away as some people might have feared. And it's a more helpful tool than I don't know if, it's more helpful than it was 2 years ago. The time saving is the biggest thing for sure.
It saves a ton of time. One of the things that, like, obviously AI is going to take over some jobs. I think driving might be, that one's kind of charted to be taken over by some of these automated cars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not in Canada in winter because you can't see the road. You kind of, there's white. It's a little less white in the middle. I'll drive there. Yeah. So I don't know if AI will be able to completely take over driving, but I think there's some pieces there. I think the bigger thing that it's done is it's made people more efficient. One of the things that it's made more difficult on the marketing side, when you have all this content being pushed out, all these AI articles, all this AI social media content, all these AI social media posts, all this stuff kind of comes together, and all of a sudden there's so much noise that getting through the noise is a difficult thing.
Mm-hmm.
So from my perspective, we can advertise and we can push stuff out like that. And I think you almost have to now, but actually getting people's trust is a lot harder now. So building trust with customers is one of the most critical things. Having a quality product, having quality service, that is your number one thing to keep your marketing kind of effective.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, you even told me the other day, like, how much of this stuff do we trust on the internet?
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, and that's a good point. It's
trust online has changed.
Yes. Has it?
Well, your trust in the things coming up has changed, right?
Yes.
The stuff that you see.
Well, yeah, I mean, you read anything and, well, the trust in that you just don't know if it was written by a person or not. Whether or not it's true. I mean, that's always kind of been the case, I guess. Like the joke about, well, it's on the internet, it must be true, that you say sarcastically. Like, has anyone ever really, like, does that come from anything? Was there ever a time when we all just, well, it is on the internet, it's probably true? I don't know. I kind of feel like we were never that naive. But
that is true, that maybe we were never that naive. But I'll be honest, all the information I get is from the internet.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's on the internet, that's actually where I find all of the information I get.
Yeah, that's true. And then if I see it on TV, then I don't believe it. Then I was like, well, it's on TV, it's not true.
Well, it's for sure not true if it's on TV.
So, but if it's on TV and on the internet from somewhere I trust, then I guess it's probably true.
Yeah, because there's so much content out there, you almost have to go through and do your due diligence and read into things more.
Yeah.
Look into things more than you used to.
Yeah. And the age of misinformation, disinformation. I mean, if the end result is we have to be more discerning of the things we hear, I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe we get better at it.
Yeah.
Better at seeing the fake stuff out there, better at calling it out when we see it. That might actually be good for society. Who knows?
Yeah. The hot take of the day: Solosphere pro misinformation.
Nope. We are not pro misinformation. I think we are pro using AI tools, and the next generation coming up and using these tools is going to mean a little bit harder things on the discerning side. But yeah, use the tools, grow your business, take the advantage of whatever leverage you can get. And if AI is one of those things, use it.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody. Like and subscribe.